Hello, and everyone. Hello to everyone that's joining me on Twitch tonight. Sorry for the little bit delay in coming on. Running a little bit behind due to connectivity issues tonight. It is just myself that's on. So anyone that does come on, thank you very much. Should be viewing your. If you want to join in with the chat tonight, come and join me on Facebook. I should be watching that, and also if you want to just keep an eye on the Twitch as well, that'd be awesome. And of course, I'm going to get a bit of feedback. I have to apologise on that. So tonight, it's pretty much all I'm going to be doing is just doing some painting, and talk about one of the games that I've just had recently with Franco. Really cool battle report. It's going to be coming out in about 2 weeks' time. It was quite a fun game. Very hard. Very tough. Genestealer Cult versus Franco's horrible, but very good. It sounds weird, right? Both of those things into the same context, but yeah, he's got really good tournament list. I like it. Franco's really good at doing tournaments. Full stop. So to have that opportunity to play against him was, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. You've done a very good job on that. Hopefully everyone's going to be very excited on, I'm very excited. I've got some ideas on what I'm going to do to edit that battle report, and it'd be cool to really see what your feedback is on that as well, because a couple of the battle reports that I've done in the past, it's so like for instance, I've done one where it's Death Guard versus Tyranids, and I've done a little funky little intro bit at the beginning, and I suppose it's really to see what everyone's thoughts are on that, whether they like that type of intro or whether they just like a basic intro where it's just going through just quick glimpse of the army, or whether you'd like a little bit of the story towards it. So I've captured some golden moments in that game, put some bits in there, but I've got a couple of ideas that I want to put into that beginning bit. It's just to build that little bit of story into it, give that a little bit of narrative, if you could put it that way. But more importantly, we had a fun, really fun battle report. There's so many twists and turns in that battle report. At one point I thought, yeah, this could be in my favour. And then Franco does something cool, and then he thinks it's in his ball court, and then I chuck it back, and it's like, yeah, so many cool bits in that game. It's just friggin' awesome. I ain't going to tell you what happens. I ain't going to tell you what the end, because you've got to watch this battle report. It's friggin' cool. Mind you, I nearly knocked myself bloody out doing it. Come running down to the cabin, and then jumped in, to do the old. Of course, I misjudged it. Smacked my head straight into the bloody top part of the door, and nearly give myself concussion. So Franco's pissing himself with laughter, and I'm just holding my head. Look, I'm going to be laughing at that. That's not the funny part, but hey, that's how it goes, right? Right. So on the menu today is, I am going to be painting up some armigers, because we've got the Chaos Knights. I've got to be finished off. So apologies for the messiness around it, but that's just how I work. Some people do say that messy people are the most creative. I would like to think I'm creative. So all the noisy parts are all done. So this is pretty much a sneak peek of what's coming up. So 2 armigers so far, which I could change these into the close combat ones if I decide to. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos I've done in the past in regards with magnetisement, but what I have done is I've magnetised the weapons off, so I decided to change them to the close combat with melter. It's just a case of pinging those off, find an alternative magna gun, multi-melter, sorry, and a close combat. Got some ideas with that. But yeah, it means I don't have to go out and buy more of these. I could just use that same kit and then just flip, just chop it and change it, which is really cool. But I like it. It's awesome. Had a game the other day at the club. Really cool game. Went up against Elder, so using Chaos Knights opposed to normal Knights. These Chaos Knights are friggin' awesome. I'm so in love with them. It's just, I don't think how I run that list the other day wasn't the best, but I love the close combat guy. Spending the artifacts. So, for instance, I've got to remember the actual name of the actual artifact itself. There's Cornate one. So you get into combat. Apologies if you've heard this before, but it's just such a cool artifact that for one turn, you can only do this once per battle, but you can get in there, basically blow this up, and then where you activate the artifact and it stops anyone getting any vulnerable saves within a certain radius, which is friggin' awesome. So there's this bit in there where I've managed to battle my way through. I've got to Eldrad, and his little cancel is just set there. And of course, Eldrad's got a nice, decent, invulnerable save. And every time I've gone up, anyone that plays Eldrad always seems to manage to save his damn invulnerable saves. So getting in there in the first place and manage to get up, close to him is one thing. But then just taking his invulnerable saves away, which is massive, because then there's no chance of him, surviving it. But now the close combat version of the Chaos Knight has got so many damn attacks with the right house. It's just absolutely bonkers. Where's my book? Because there's some bits in it that, again, it's more like a case like picking brains, because this is really cool. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Where's the damn book gone? So, what have we got in it? Just remembering what everything's all called in this Chaos Knight Codex, because it's still a new thing, a new codex for myself. I know the Chaos Codex has been out for a while now, but for me, it's like having that chance of actually playing with the Knights, properly. It's been absolutely awesome. So I've had 2 games so far. It was a funny game that I played with Dan, and it was against his Blood Angels against the Chaos Knights. I went in with the Gatling cannon. I just need to kill one friggin' scout. One damn scout just to give me that point. Fired Gatling cannon into it. 12 shots from the Gatling cannon. 8 hit. I thought, okay, well, there's only one guy. I can rip this guy apart, right? Massive great Gatling cannon. Many shots going into him. I roll 8 ones. 8 friggin' ones. Dan's pissing himself, and I'm like, no. That's not cool, man. That is not cool at all. Yeah, so Knight Despoiler. Running in with the close combat, chainsaw and the actual fist itself. So he starts off with four attacks. Close combat is giving him 5 attacks. This is the cool part. Going with the iconic class household gives him an additional attack, which is friggin' cool. So when you get into charge, when you get into close combat, charge or be charge, you get the +1 to the attacks. But even better still, you give it the Warlord trait. Now, if I'm reading this right, you get an additional attack on this as well, which is friggin' awesome. So, already, so you got 4 base, you got 5 base, so 4 basic, 1 for the close combat, 1 for the Warlord, and then 1 for the household. Now, if you put that into Stomp, for pretty much that is doing so much damage to so much horde. It is absolutely friggin' crazy, and this is pretty much what happened. Got in there, he just stomps all over. Now the chap was playing, down the club was awesome. We had a really good laugh, really fun. It wasn't too beardy with his elder list. It was quite a nice balanced elder list. So he had 1 squad of Dark Reapers. He had 1 squad of Shining Spears. Then he had the normal bikes. He only had 1 flyer with the flamer shots. So it was a really balanced list. So I think I was probably a bit too overpowerful with what I took, but it was more of a chance to have getting used to the Knights and seeing how these play. But just that on its own was friggin' awesome. Now he did manage to take one of the Knights down turn 1. So he won the roll-off. I won the roll-off. I chose my deployment side map, and he decided he wanted to go last, which is cool. So that meant I got first turn. Going into the actual turn itself was kind of painful, because he hid everything very well behind it, all the scenery. So I couldn't actually destroy anything. And the 3 targets that I could see, I didn't have, because I was a little bit silly with the weapon choice I went with. I went with all the Gatling cannons and 2 missiles. So, and of course, I went with the two armor, the 2 Hell Dogs as well, which was really cool. But because of the way the scenery was, I just couldn't see anything. I couldn't get to anything. It was a shame, but it's, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. But so it meant in turn 1 for him. Obviously, I had to bring these knights down to get down. Otherwise, he's just going to keep picking me off. He managed to take one of the knights out, which was, I was like, this is absolutely scary. His Shining Spears then went into combat with my close combat knight, shrugged off the Shining Spears attacks, managed to survive that. Now, with the knight itself, obviously you got the what is it? Do you know what? There's a CP you can spend. Is it the Vow of Carnage? No, it's the Vow of Dominance. Is it the Dominance one? I can't remember now. It's one where you pretty much you can't be anything if when you get being wounded, they can't do it on 1/4+. I can't remember where I saw it now. Anyway, such a real cool strat. That's it, the Dominance one. So it's 1, 2, and a 3 always fail, respective of the ability of the weapon. That saved my bacon so many times because so many high damage weapons were going into it. It was just so really cool that it was surviving it, and then anything did get him through, I was managed to do off the invulnerable save. Sorry, not the invulnerable save, normal save, because a lot of the stuff he was firing was low AP. So most of the time it was like 4 or 5. And I was lucky enough just to get the cheeky little saves in, which was cool. But when it did hit back, it did take the Shining Spears out, just like splattered them like no tomorrow. I think it was a bit of a shame that for him that they didn't do better, and they did try at least do a lot more damage. But unfortunately, only managed to take one wound off the knight, or 2 wounds off the knight. I can't remember now. But coming out the back of that gave me 4 wounds, and they just started coming in. And that's when it just started going downhill. So by turn 3, the knights really did get into the Elder's Grill, and it was just game over by end of turn 3. Another little cool strat I managed to use in there was the Death Grip. And we got that ability to reach into the building and then just pretty much just pull something out. Devastating Reach. That's so cool. That is like, because obviously you got a lot of players, they position themselves in a way that you can't be targeted by close combat knights or stuff like that. But that Devastating Reach is such worth spending that CP just to pull that thing out. It's just so cool. And then the other cool strat was for the Hell Dogs was using the Sky Reaper protocols, so allow me to reroll hits on fly. With Elder, there's a lot of stuff in there that's got the fly keyword. So, for instance, the Shining Spears, you've got the flyer, you've then got the tanks. There's a lot of stuff in there that had that fly keyword. So it was really, really cool on the fact that when I was shooting at these guys, it was giving me that ability to re-roll those attacks on there, especially against the flyers, because it's very hard to hit the damn things anyway. Now, he was kind of cool. He didn't go for the ATOC, which was the -1 to hit, from the thing. So because he had painted these guys black, he kept to the house that he wanted to be in. So it was more of a, he was proper on that side. So he gave him the 6-up infan. But I kid you not, he was on fire on those Feel No Pain rolls. It was just crazy because every time I was doing some damage, he was there and he was just shrugging off that damage just with the invulnerable save, with the Feel No Pains, those lucky 6s, and that was just crazy. But it was a really cool game. We had fun and we enjoyed it, and that's what it was all about. Well, I think I enjoyed it more because I was, tearing through that game with the Knights. But I saw a lot, after doing that game, it did open my eyes up on a lot of flaws that the Knights had. So ground control, or holding the objectives. If you play up against Horde, you're really, really going to struggle against that. So it's going to be a case of I need to rethink about this list because I think that the Chaos Knights on their own are good. Like if you're going to go to a tournament and you want to have a couple of drinks and you're not day 2, you just want to have a few drinks, maybe suffer the hangover, and you just want some easy models, just to push around that board, fling some dice. Then the night list is going to be that thing, something you don't have to think too much about, and you can just have some fun with them. And you haven't really got a lot of, you haven't got to think too much about it. There's not a lot of guns on them, so you just pot around here and there. That's it. But to make these nights even better, I think it's going to be a case of I need to start allying these up, possibly with demons, just to create that. Depending on what army I go up against, I can create that little maybe shield with the plague bearers. Possibly 2 squads of plague bearers, just give that little shield, or even better still, maybe just go with 1 squad of plague bearers. Go out with a max 30, but then go with a couple of little what they called, the little Nurglings, just so that you can then pop them down into objectives, into buildings, just to hold things. Because if you've got those knights on the board, in a way, the knights are going to be your opponent's primary target. I don't think they're going to worry so much about the Nurglings so much. Of course, if you are playing ITC, kill 1. The Nurglings are very resilient. So as much as people think, are not worried about the Nurglings, they are an easy kill. They're not actually that easy, because they can actually, withstand quite a lot of damage on them, which is crazy. But I think the plague bearers just give you that little bubble, just for any close combat stuff. So, for instance, if you do come up against let's say the Smash Captains, I know obviously the Smash Captains have got a way of getting over, but if you can stop them getting in within the 9 inches, I think there has an ability there to screen them off a little bit, which is kind of cool, and just makes those knights a little bit more survivability, a little bit more survivable. And I think that's really crucial. The knights can, they're only moving 12 inches, but the full tilt, which is a really cool strat, so you've got the close combat ones, for 2CP, you run, you move, you advance, and then that allows you then to assault as well straight after it if you spend a 2CP for the full tilt. That's really cool. And I think the Chaos Knights, looking at it, potentially is going to be better on the close combat side. I'm loving, but even then the double Gatling cannon's cool, but going up against that Elder army, one of the things I didn't like with the Gatling was it wasn't doing a lot of damage against vehicles. So I was really struggling trying to put damage onto the vehicles itself, which was a pain in the bottom. How you doing, Mikey? You all right, or is that poorly? So going up against vehicles, that was a struggle with the Gatling. So I think maybe possibly going in with the Melter, because the Melter's not as expensive. The battle cannons, I'm not too sure on the battle cannon, because it's got the the battle cannon's got the range. You can shoot anything across the board, but the Melter, I think, is going to be the trick. And I think in the past, I've played against Andrew, and he's used his the melters on the knights, and they seem to have done a lot better than what the actual battle cannons do. A lot shorter range on the melters, but you have that more potential of actually popping vehicles, and I think that's what it's more crucial for, is just trying to pop those vehicles, because once those knights have got up, they're the ones that's actually going to do the damage. You could, most tournaments now, we're going to see a lot more Horde now. I don't think so. This, at the moment, I think is going to be more of the case. We're going to see a lot more Marines. So I think it's going to be, looking upon the way the meta is going, obviously we're going to see a lot more space Marines out there. So it's going to be a lot more Primus. We're going to have a lot more of the, the repulsors, things like that. So we need something that can really smash through the armor and take down some of that bigger threat as possible. Sisters are coming. They're coming soon, aren't they? Something to look forward to. I think once the Sisters do come out, I think it'd be worth investing in the Sisters. I've got a really sneaky feeling they're going to be really powerful. There's going to be some real dirty little sneaky things in there, and I think it's definitely worth investing into it. And I think there could be some really good shout. So which one's going to buy it? Is it going to be Mikey, or is it going to be Paul that's going to actually invest in those Sisters? Who's going to bring it to the channel? Just going to wait and see which one of you two pipe up first, and it's actually going to put his hands in his pocket and actually get the sisters for the channel. If you get the sisters in, I'll help you paint them, because I think they'll be really, really cool on the channel, and I think they're going to be really, really good. Whoever gets hold of them are going to enjoy using them. I've got a feeling you're absolutely going to love them. Paul, okay, yeah, okay, Paulie, I think you're going to... And in that case, then, Paul, it's not going to be you painting them. It's going to be me painting them, right? You're not going to be painting those sisters anytime soon. So it's definitely going to be me painting those sisters. So that's cool. So you got some, you can have some really, really cool stuff in with the sisters. Obviously, you're going to need to go get Celestine, because she's going to be like one of those must units in your army. And hopefully, some of the models that look like that's coming, there looks like there's going to be some really, really cool, cool model kits coming out. Especially like the close combat ones. They look friggin' awesome with the big old chainsaw. So exciting times ahead. And I'm wondering whether or not the Sisters Codex, whether they'll actually take like some of the other stuff, like Cotiers or anything like that, or whether Cotiers... So like what I'm trying to say here is the I forgot what they're bloody called. Do you know, like the Grey... Back in 5th, you had the Grey Knights and you had the Demon Hunters. The Inquisitors, that's it, sorry. Spit my damn words out. Whether the sisters come with the Inquisitors. And if they do, I could just see some really, really cool stuff coming out of the back of it. Oh, okay, cool. Fair enough then, Paul. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Gonna see you paint that. It's gonna be absolutely awesome, dude. I'm guessing you're gonna start using the contrast paints for them, because the contrast, I think, is going to be the best option for yourself, getting through those models really, really quickly. And then once you've got the bases down, you can just go in and just pick up at any time, right, and just tidy them up and actually make them look pretty smart. Definitely well worth getting involved in that, that's for sure. Right, so we're going to put this down to one side. I need to start cracking on, because hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, I really want to get out of the start getting out of these the Chaos Knights onto the channel. Now I know I've had out the Knights for probably a good 2 months, but I need to start finishing these off, because I want to get them up on the channel and actually start showing them off on what the things they can do, and then try to work upon getting some cool stuff to make them work or make them look really, really cool on the battle reports. Now, of course, depending on what army you go up against, there's everything's also always got a weak spot. But I think at the moment the Knights have definitely got a good place. Marines at the moment are going to be a big threat. There's nothing we can really do upon that. It is what it is. It's just how we try to counteract the meta, if we can. So at the moment, obviously, the old Iron Hands are definitely going to be the big thing at the moment. It's going to be dominating the tournament scene, I think, at the moment, and it's cool. It's about time that Marines become Marines again. Become the deadly force of the galaxy. As once upon a time they did conquer planets, and they kind of went away a little bit, and now the boys are back. The boys are back with a brand new rap, and they're gonna kick ass for the Lord again, and that's cool. That's what we want. Right, I'm just sticking my head down here to get some greaseproof paper, and of course this is where I can't find it. So this makes great TV, by the way. Oh, where are you? There you are. I should really just buy some greaseproof paper, but I'm lazy, and having it already pre-cut, it's just handy, very, very handy. So what we're going to do tonight is, now at some point we are going to be doing custom decals. So I'm just working on that at the moment. We've just invested a little bit on some equipment. So what we're going to be able to do in the future at some point is do... I haven't really got anything I can show you, but like if you wanted like a custom symbol or something like that, print off in mass, so you could just then apply that via decal onto the model. Hopefully at some point we're going to give you that option, or we're going to be able to provide that as a service. So if you've got a cool logo design, hopefully we're going to be able to offer that as a service. I think that would be really cool. For myself, decals make a massive great part of the model. when you want to, make something pop on the model, or let's say, for instance, you've gone for a unique color, color style. Those decals, could really make a big difference. Or if you've got a specific chapter, and for instance, Forge World are not doing it, or whoever's not doing that decal, it gives that opportunity then just to do that. Of course, obviously, it's going to be cool. So for this one, for myself on here, now I don't think there's any small Chaos decals. So I want to do like the maybe the star on the back. So I'm going to have that going over there. But what it does allow me to do, I'm going to be able to print off white decals. Now this is important because just off a normal printer, you can only print off, if you print off onto a clear sheet on decals, you don't get the white, and that's crucial. So like if you're printing yellow, if you're printing like white writing, for instance, or anything like that, of course it's not going to do white writing because it's relying upon what's behind the back. And that's going to be a real pain. So that means that you have to cut it, then print it onto white transfer paper, which then means you have to be very, very accurate on what you cut out to stick on your model, which is a pain in the bottom. So I'm going to have the ability to print white, and then once I can print white out, it's going to allow me then to do some really, really cool designs. So I've got a couple of things in mind that I want to do, especially like for the Knight's Shield. I've got the I'm pretty much going to have some cool bits on there where I'm going to put some cool little custom decals on there. You never know, I might even be able to get the do a small Twisted Dice logo. So if you can see on the screen, just somewhere around about here or down here, you'll see like the little logo. Just being able to print those off and maybe just putting them someone. I think that'd be really cool. I like the idea of that. So with this, what we're going to pretty much do today, actually let's stick that back on. We're just going to do some touching up. So one of the things I like to do, or when I paint with gold, for instance, I hate painting gold by hand onto the models. It just sucks. It just doesn't have that same clean, smooth effects. So what I do, I mask it all off, and then I just airbrush the gold over. So then I can go over with like the different types of gold, and then either bring it up or bring it down to where I want it to be. So, but when you stencil it, unfortunately, you do have little bits where the gold or whatever paint you've used is kind of gone underneath. So for instance, around here, you kind of got a bit of gold that's managed to sneak itself under. Just there, there's a little bit there. So all I'm going to do in this is just touch it up and then go from there. But as you can see, we've got a lot of battle damage already there. So with that, what I've done is I've used some Maskell, and then all I've done is just put that onto a palette, and then just got a sponge and just sponged loads of it off, and then just tap the sponge onto the actual model itself, and then let that dry. Then gone over, so brown first of all, so all my rust colours on the model first. Done that with the sponge, and then all I've done is then primed it again with that underneath, and then just airbrushed over the top of it. Then once the model's painted, so for instance, where I've done all the checkered effects, once I've then pulled that off, and then I've gone back over with a toothbrush, once I start taking that the Maskell underneath off, it's then giving me that random pattern of rust. So I don't know if you can let the camera readjust. So I don't know if you can see that clearly on camera, but it gives that random effect. There's some really cool stuff, and there's some also cool stuff with like you can do with hairspray and how was it? I've forgotten what it's bloody called. Salts. Simple thing, and I can't remember the word salt. How bad is that, right? So yeah, so there's things you can do with like salt and hairspray. And that's the same principles, you just go over and you just do that. And you got the chipping stuff as well. With the chipping solution, you just spray it over them. You go over the model first of all with your rust colours. You just go all over, and then you just put put the chipping stuff over the top of it. You let it dry, then you go over your bases, and then once you're finished, all you do is either go in with a toothpick, Dave, and then or the toothbrush, and you just randomly in places where you want the the weathering to come through up on there. But there's other ways of doing weathering. You don't have to do that. That's just my way of doing some randomness on it, and I like that effect. But of course, you don't have to do it that way. But that's just the way I like doing it. So when doing the checkered bits on here, so like for instance on this one, you can kind of see that the gold is kind of just gone around there. So all I've got to go in is just basically touch it up, gives me a chance then to do some highlighting. I've already done all the pre-shading, but obviously once you've mastered it all up, it's really hard to judge what the gold's going to look like upon the different things. So at the moment, at this stage, I'm not too sure whether I'm happy with the gold. Now the gold on the red looks brilliant. The gold on the white, not so much. It kind of needs to be a little bit more dulled down a little bit. So I'm just going to have to work that out and what I want to do there. I've got to go back over that part. So I'm going to use some of the contrast browns just to darken it up, and then just make that into metal, just so when I put the gun back onto the top carapace, I've then got that ability just to make it pop a little bit. So what we're going to do first of all, just going to repair this little bit here. It's managed just to snap itself off. Just when I'm obviously putting the stencils on, unfortunately it has broke itself off. But some things you can't help. But the main thing is when you're doing it, don't panic. Sometimes things happen, right? And it's just what you do afterwards. It's how you react afterwards. Everything can be repaired. Everything you can do some cool bits to it. And it's going to be a case on this. We're just going to go through, and then we're just going to pretty much just going to go in, and then just where bits have gone over, we can definitely hide that over, or we can turn it into battle damage. And battle damage is cool, especially when you go with like white models, things like that. I think when you go white, especially with that battle damage, rust, things like that, that's ideally where you want to go to make that look cool. And that's unfortunately a little bit too much plastic glue went off there, which is not cool. But once that's on, it'll look alright. So all I'm saying is don't panic. Everything could be fixed. So we'll let that dry for a little bit. Come on, sit in there. Just about. Okay, we'll let that dry off. Now, I don't know what everyone else does in regards to paint holders. Now, I had one of those, the £300 bloody, or 400 or however much it was. Do you know you got the old big paint boxes that sit there with all the different paint racks that GW do, the cardboard ones. I've had that for a while, and I've had like the nail brush stuff. And over a period of time, that's starting to drive me absolutely potty, just going through where things are just not going. So I've kind of just started figuring a way of actually getting around what I've got, neutralising what I've got, and making it more neat and tidy. So this is what I've done for the best way of using the old Apocalypse box. Each one of those boxes now, each one of those things have actually just got the paint in. So I've then got all the blues, all the reds, all together, so I can see the type of range I want to go for. And it's a great way for me to manage what I've actually got in paint wise, because I've had another drawer with all my spare paints all chucked into it. The other day I went to the shop, brought some new paints. Got back, when I went into the drawer, I realised I actually had 2 bloody pots of it already, which kind of pooped me up a little bit, but do you know what? It is what it is. So down on this bit here, we've kind of gone where I've gone over with the I don't know if you can see that. That's a little bit too small just to actually do the masking off. So what I'm going to do over that is just go back over a primer. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to go in with some Grey Seer. I'm actually loving this new paint range at the moment. Some of the colours on the palette are absolutely friggin' awesome. And then we're just going to go in with whatever size one, Rosemary, or another painting company paintbrushes. So we're just going to go straight in with that. Water that down just a tad. So we want it a little bit thick, but not too much. And then all we're going to do is go straight in there in a way, what you could do, you know, when I was thinking about when I was doing it earlier the other day, setting this up, one way what you could do, because like with Chaos, there's a lot of horrible, nasty, like spiky bits, and I friggin' hate going back over that with the actual thing itself. So with what I've done with this, what you could do is just basically spray the whole model gold, get all your highlights with the various different golds, dark golds, light golds, your silvers, you know, get it up to where you want it to be, and then you could just go over, you know, with the new paints and that. You can, it's two ways you can do it. You can either go over the panels with, you know, leave all the golds, and then, for instance, go with the silvers onto these parts here. And then what you could do is then water down the contrast paints and then just put a thin layer of the contrast over the thing. So then you get that candy effect, and that way you can push the paintbrush up to where you want it to go. Yeah, no worries at all. Or what you could do to take a little bit longer, but what you could do is once you're done over the model itself, you can then go back over and just do, you know, the greys again, just hide all the gold away and then just go back over the paints. But I'm lazy, and I much prefer the airbrush effect than actually going over by hand. And I think I think a lot of other people do prefer the airbrush. I suppose it depends on your paint style, on what you prefer. What we got in chat, I use plastic storage boxes that can. Yeah, no, that's a good shout. You know, I've seen some really cool ideas. I see one on Facebook the other day where someone's using the doorstop ledge and screwing those onto the wall, and it makes the perfect size for the actual for the paint pots, which, you know, is pretty cool. But I just have this little thing where I get a little bit, you know, OCD kicks in, and yeah. So for me, I like to have all my paints, like all the different brands, separately. So my Vlasios are in one, my scale colour in another, then my GW in another, my weathering powders are in another. Just completely separate that all off. But that's just the way I like to paint. And as I say, I'm really funny when it comes to that. Just chop and change my actual paints all the time. So at the moment they're set in those boxes, you know, in the gaming cases, but I guarantee next month it will bug me, it will irritate me, and I'll have like a new stacking system all over the actual wall itself, and that's just the way it goes. Just, it is what it is, right? Now, every painter, I believe, a hairdryer will be your best friend in any type of paint, whether you're doing airbrushing, whether you're doing paintbrushing. The hairdryer is a really cool tool. Only the fact that you can speed up your paint time, you know, by loads, especially if you're doing glaze effects, anything like that. You know, that hairdryer is going to be your best friend. Highlighting, you know, if you're doing a lot of highlighting in one area, so like for instance, if I was going to highlight this and I was going to really pull that down with like loads of different glazes, that hairdryer just put one thin layer down, dry it with the hairdryer, another one, hairdryer, another one, hairdryer, and just keep doing it until I get up to where I want it to go, which is cool. And then we're just going to go straight into there, to there, there and there, and then we'll go into there. It takes a little bit longer to paint like this, and this is why I prefer the airbrush, because the airbrush would have just gone over by now, straight in, just masking off. Right, do we want to go? I think we need to go back in with the red with this. I think we don't muck around too much. Right. Just try that, just so I can give it another coat. Cool, so that's in, and we'll give it another coat in. Hopefully that's coming up on screen all right. see a really, really cool conversion the other day, which today, which absolutely just had me in stitches. Someone's done a hell brute, and then just put a smiley face where its head should be, and then of course the Slaanesh, and down between his legs is he's got his head on a bulging neck sticking out between his legs, and of course you can guess what that's meant to be. But I was just in absolute stitches when I saw that on the page. It's like, Jesus Christ, you've got to get that up on Warhammer World. It's just so funny. You know they're going to freak when you pull that out on the table at Warhammer. They're gonna, but yeah, that's just my weird sense of humour. I thought that was very, very funny. But I think I think some people told him off. But hey, you know what? It's his hobby. He can do what he wants, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not man enough to do that on mine. But that's just me. That's not what I'm into. I'd love to paint a whole Slaanesh army, that whole purple thing. Purple's such a cool colour. Or like the purpley pinks. As you can see, I've got some really lovely clean paint water going on here. Just the best. That water comes all the way from the tap. Dry that off. Cool. And then yeah, you're right, Kevin. I am a secret little Slaanesh little hobbyist. I love the old Slaanesh. I need to do some. I really do need to get back on the ball. Right, so next up I'm going to need some reds. So we're going to go in with, so what I've got in there is some intense red from Scale Colour, and then I'm going with my favourite red, which is from the Vallejo range. But I need one more red. Which is good old Mephiston. Oh, lose myself here. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to get a little bit there, a little bit of water, just mix that down just a tad. Let's get my old snot rag. Let's get that off. Let's get the Vallejo in there as well. Best for the airbrush, that paint, by miles. Actually, I don't really need to thin that down too much. And then we're just going to put a little bit of this, just to the tad there for a sec. Okay, so all we're going to do there. So shade, we're going to put the darker red up there, and then we're going to go with lighter down below. So what we're going to do is go in like so. But this one I'm probably going to need a couple of different coats on that. So I don't know if you can see that already, but like, I really do like that. I do like that red. So like there, it's not really come out that way, but you know, this is the air range, so I believe it's the air range. It's cool. It's fine. You know, it's nothing stopping you from using the air range. You know, painted by hand. It just gives like a little bit more opaque. You know, opaque color itself, but you know, it's fine. It's cool. It is what it is. You know, if you want to build up on layers, you know, it's just perfect for that. So let's just get that all up into there. I've got blooming hair right over the actual model itself where I don't want it to be. A pain in the bottom. As you can see, I've left a little bit of white bit down there. I'm not not too fussed with that at the moment. Some highlights going to be somewhere around about there, so we're going to go right down into that corner, and then we're going to darken that up just there. So that actually we're just going to go all the way over there, because that red's going to be good enough. Tell you what, we're going to do that as well. I'm just going to do it. So let that dry. We'll then go back over this one. What's everyone working out on at the moment? It's only, what projects is everyone taking up? Anyone started any new armies? Anyone taking up the Space Marines? Or better still, is anyone taking up the Iron Hands? Oh, I did see something interesting today, or was it yesterday? That Marvel and Games Workshop are teaming up. That's going to be interesting. That'd be really, really cool. It'd be even cooler if Marvel took them under their wing and actually helped them produce a decent animated version cartoon of 40k. That'd be so friggin' cool. See, now I've done that, I'm actually liking the actual. I'm even tempted to do that. No, we can't do. No, we're not. We're going to carry on. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. This paint's just so lovely. Flows nicely. You know, you could always use contrast, but it's getting that right contrast colour for it. Let's get that in there. There we go, right up to where we want to go. So then just where we're patching up as well, because this is the paints we're going to be using for the other one. So I'm just going to patch up where the gold had just gone before. I'm just going to blend that in up top. All I've done is just damp the brush itself, and that'll help the paint pull itself in. And then just up here we've got a little bit, so we'll just pull that up around, and we'll pull that around, just get that all in there. Awesome. Oh, that's cool. Just around the back. So just to pull into that shade, we're going to go in with a little bit, we're going to go in some blue afterwards just to shade that up a little bit. Such a lovely red. So freaking cool. I don't know if you can see that, but that's, the pre-shading's already in there anyway, so don't matter so much. I don't need to do much on that. Maybe sharpen that up there. And then we'll bring you over. And that's just all it is, where I've cut little squares out. Some of the paint, unfortunately, one of them's just obviously not stuck down properly, and the paint's managed to get itself underneath. You know what? Is what it is. Now you can do about it. So we've got a little bit there. We're going to turn that brown. We're going to do a little bit of bout damage underneath there. I think that'd be cool. There's a loose bit of muscle there. So where's my trusty Blu Tack? So this is cool. So a bit of Blu Tack, and we're just going to whack that on there just to pull it off. So with this stuff, it is really easy just to take back off. You can go back in with a pair of tweezers. Yeah, it's just dead easy. And then Blu Tack will just help you just get that last little bit off. Yeah, that is them. That's them done. Cool, nice and easy. So what we got? Oh, is it only on the comics? No, fair enough. Do you know what? It would be awesome if we could bring them into it. What is everyone in the chat working on at the moment? Yeah, so here you go. So now we're going back over the second coat of this paint. It's given a nice, real, nice cherry red. The red of corn. Oh, actually, it's more well bearers. But it's just such a cool red. Don't know what it is with red. I always get drawn back to it when painting, starting up any projects. Red is that colour that brings you back time and time again. Everyone has their favourite. Green is another. Bright green even. That brings me back to, starting at again, the Imperial Knights. I went bright green on that. It was really cool. They came out really nice. I was, so impressed with the way they come out. Where's the tweezers gone? There we go. So I guess get this blooming hair off. It's driving me crazy. It's like, oh, you. Cool. There we go. In, around. Cool. Let's get that. In and around. Done. Awesome. Now we just get that last bit. Once we've got that in there, I think we just need that one more bit there as well. Can't remember if I've done that bit. Guessing not. I'll let that dry for a sec. Was there any touching up I've got to do on that one? Don't think so. I think we're good with that one. So now we're going to go straight in with the Mephiston. So we're just going to start highlighting pretty much. You're not really going to catch much sun on that, but just want to raise it up just a little bit. So we've got, and then there, we're pretty much just going to be down, just down to those bits there. And of course, once I go back in with the weathering on this, a lot of that's going to be hidden up anyway, because the weathering, once I go, do the weathering effects on that, a lot of that's just going to be hidden up anyway. So it's not the end of the world, right? Yeah. Do you know what? At the moment, I haven't done much more on them. I need to get a couple of discordants to start making that army work with the Twisted Onslaught that's just gone. I spent a lot of my time getting the terrain, like the bottom tables trains, up, making them nice. So I know you didn't come to this one just gone, Dave, but obviously the next one you come to, hopefully the scenery, you're gonna love it. We spent a little bit of time getting the bottom tables up and nice, top tables nice and practical for the tournament players. So if you are, when you're at the top tables, the tables are going to be nice, nice and practical, nice, a lot of line blocking terrain, which is really cool. But the people playing at the bottom, you've got some really nice, cool tables to play on. So, make it nice and cool to play on, which is cool. That's what I like. When I go to tournaments, I like to play on cool tables. Don't really worry. Not really fussed if I win or not. for me, it's just all about the A, the atmosphere, and B, the tables. I just want to play on some cool tables. And for me, that's where No Retreat's really cool, because obviously I know Pardo has some really cool tables to play on, or the SN team even. I shouldn't just say Pardo, there's more than just one guy there. But yeah, they've got some really sweet tables and I enjoy that. That's cool. Something to inspire to. And that's cool. It's good that, you know, someone set the bar on that. And that's what it should be about. So there we go. So just bring up that red now. So if you can just see just there, just pulling it up, just starting to actually make that pop. And we're going to go in there as well. So we're not going to go all the way because this is just going to be your highest point. Need that bit there as well. Let's get in there. Just take that white line off. I think we want to go. Let's pull that over as well. Awesome. Just sharpen up those lines a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. That's coming on nicely. Okay, so I've got to just sharpen that up there a little bit. We want to just emphasize on that there, that there. So let him dry for a sec. Let's get back on with this one. It's only really just get that. So again, just going in with a damp brush. I'm just going to pull that in behind. Just drag that a little bit further up. Just give it that extra blend. I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to ruin that too much. So let's dry that off a little bit. And of course that bloody thing's come off, hasn't it? Didn't stick properly. Alright, where's the sandpaper? Let's just give that a little. Give it a little sand down a little bit. And we'll get your bugger. Cool. Alright. Just get that back in there. And then what's it? Have you seen the video with the Space Marine on top of the Land Raider going into battle and he's playing the saxophone? I've had that bloody tune on my head the whole friggin' day. As soon as I see that up on Facebook and I've watched it once, that just sticks in my head the whole friggin' day. Dude, 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 dude. Stupid, but it's funny. So friggin' cool. I'd love to have the time to do like animation like that, because that's not a 5 minute. That's not a 5 minute job. Whoever's done that, it's taken them a bit of time to do. But it's just so friggin' cool. I love it. The whole beat, dude, 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 dude. There you go. So it's stuck on my bloody head. That's not cool. And then here, we're just going to go in to there, down to there. Let's highlight these bits there. And again on here, we're going to go more down to there. We're just going to go up. I'm probably ended up sticking a decal there anyway, but hey ho, it is what it is. Where do we want the light in here? So the lighting source is going to be just around about here and here. Let's get it dry. Cool. Apologies if I just popped your eardrums. We've got a little bit of excess of the stuff, just that right up in the corner, so we're going to have to go a little bit surgical on this. I'm just going to have to go in there with a knife, just you're proper going to sit in there, aren't you? Forcing my hand. You're proper. There you go. Create a little bit of bad damage as well. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, what a pain in the hole. Where did you go? I don't believe I just done that. I just knocked the damn thing off. I don't even know where that's gone. That's just like pinged off and just like, yeah, whatever, gone. Done one. Oh, there it is. You bugger. Come on, man, stick. Play ball. So if that's doing that now, you know it's going to do it later on. Yeah. Fine. Let's put a little bit down there. We could try different tactique. And we're going to go in that. Okay, we'll try not to touch it this time, right? We'll try not to. Famous last words. Famous last words. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to friggin' touch the damn thing again. Okay, so we're going to go back in. Bring that up there. Bring that up there. A little bit there. And then a little bit around there. Back up there. So let's add a little bit of. Of course, I just run that straight through the bloody grey, don't I? Like a plonker. Let's take some of that excess off. And then give that a little dry. So we're going to go a little bit more highlighting down here. And then just a little subtle. So at the moment, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see that's quite, at the moment you can see the different types of tones on there. Not going to worry about that too much because once I go back in there and I've gone over with the varnish, that'll disappear. So I'm not too worried about that. Need to pull a little bit of a fine line here though. It's not. Okay. Down here. A little bit. Cool. Let that dry off a little bit. And we're going to go just try and play that to where I want it to be. It's all about playing with that little bubble. Cool. We're going to manipulate that a little bit around here. Around to there. Cool. Don't really want to play on this side because we're going to darken that up. Alright, so one little bit there on that side, a little bit there and there, and we're going to go down to there. Cool, that's that done. Actually, we need a little bit. Doing a little bit up here as well. So all I'm doing is, you can see with the paintbrush, I'm just pulling the paint back to the edge. So I'm not going that way, I'm going the other way. So I'm pulling it up to where I want the final highlight to go. That's crucial. If you go the other way, it won't look right. Just sharpen up that line. So I've actually gone the other way. I need to go back in with the white and maybe sharpen it up the other way. No worries, no dramas. Not gonna lose any sleep over it. So the only other touching up bits we've got to do, just got to touch up some of that gold a little bit. So let's put a little bit of that on the palette. Not really going to water this down a lot because I need it to be thick. That's going to be crucial. Where are we going? So we've got a little bit. Oh no. Straight in with a cotton bud. There you go, perfect. Happens, nothing you can do about that. But if you're quick, you can get the paint back off, and that's the main thing. Okay, and then just got a little bit of touching up there. I'm not sure why that's come off there, but it has. But hey, no dramas. So with at the back bit here, where I've gone too much on the highlight with the actual gold itself, I'm just going to darken up the recesses. So I'm just going to go back in with the darker gold, which is I can't remember what it's called. And then just going to go back underneath here, just give it that shadowing. Did start playing with the Green Stuff Worlds golds and just see how that come out, but it didn't. It was cool, but it just didn't look right, unfortunately. But it'd have been so cool if I could have just got like a color shifting gold and just had it to where I want it to go, because that'd have been freaking cool. So this is crucial. We get this part done. Got to make sure we just blend those in. And we want that up there as well. So just going back in with a brush, just to blend those in. Let's darken that up around there. Cool. Here we've got to darken up that bit there again. Not really sure what happened there. Something's obviously chipped off when I pulled the mask off, unfortunately, but hey, never mind. So we've got a little bit there. Darken up the here again. Just give it a little bit of depth there. A little bit of colour there. Where else have I missed anywhere? Underneath. Yeah, let's get some gold, dark gold underneath there. Not that you really look under there, but it's cool just to make sure that every part of the model's got what it needs. So just, oh, you bugger. Couldn't have messed up there even if I tried. That's just silly. Just missed the trim and straight onto the paintwork. Like a wreath. A little bit there. Missed that bit. I think that is pretty much. I think I haven't got nothing more. Missed. That's cool. Right, so that part's done. Where do we want to go with now? Silvers. So rune silver. What I'm going to do is just do some edge highlighting. I thought I got all that paint off, but obviously not. Yeah, that'd be cool, Dave. I'd be interested to see. Obviously, what you've shown me so far looks really cool. So, you bringing it to the tournament? So, if you're watching this back on YouTube, Dave's put on there about he's been working on his Chaos Knight. So, with the silver, all I'm doing is just edging the gold trim. Just give that a little bit of highlight. Not for everyone, but it's not really coming out. Not getting it there. Let's do a bit more. I'm just going to build that silver up. Just onto the edges, and then here we're just going to bring. Actually, we're going to play with a little bit different gold here. So you're going to go with the Blazer gold. And I'm going to come in around here. Let that dry off. It's a little bit lighter. Do you know what? Sometimes I think it's easier just to do the non-metallic gold. Cool. I think we're good there, and then over there. There. Over to there, and then just spotted another little bit. Just there. Awesome. Cool. Right, that's that bit done. We're now getting with the other bits I need to think about before I go any further. I need to do the canopies. So canopies, we're going to go in with a nice dark green. So let's just do a bit of tidying up. And then we're going to go in with contrast. We're going to go in with a nice dark I think blue actually would be. Let's go in with a. Might not be the right blue to do this. We'll see it. So going with the ultramarine steel blue. I don't think this is the right one, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. So all I'm doing here is just using the blue just to darken it up. I'm not actually going to use the contrast to actually do the highlighting on it, because I think it would just drive me absolutely crazy. We'll do that dark blue as well. One thing I love about the contrast, because the pigments are so thick, just like blocking out the silvers and the golds, it's just a brilliant paint for that. There you go. So that's that bit done. I'm probably not gonna be happy with that, but cool. That's that bit in there. That into there, and then we're gonna go around. Cool. That's that. Done that. Awesome. Should we do that blue as well? Oh, do I want to do that bit green? Spoilt for choice here. Spoilt for choice. No, we'll do that. We'll do that green. Let's have a little bit of variety in the colours, right? Simon, I see you're on Facebook. Let those dry off a little bit, so it's nice. Going with a nice matte. Tell you what, let's try. Let's put a bit of contrast on the palette. We're going to try something. Don't know if this is going to work, but if it does, great. If it don't, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? What do we want to bring it up with? Blue, yellow. Yellow might be cool. Yellow might be really cool, actually. Let's give it a whirl. This is going to go. Yeah, we'll give it a try. Yeah, it's not a bad shout, mate. So going with the contrast, I'm going to go with the Dawn Yellow edge highlighting. Actually, that's a bit manky in there, so let's get the good old mix off. Let's get that in there. There you go, we're trying again. Cool, that's that bit done. And we can go, just add a little bit onto there. Might not be the right yellow for this, it might be a bit too pale, but we can play if I don't like it. So all I'm going to do is just take a little bit, and I'm just going to mix that in with the contrast. So just starting to bring that up. Again, we're going to take some of the excess off, just to make sure that it's all drying. Cool. Then we're going to go in, so we're going to have the light coming in that way, so we're going to start bringing the coming in from that angle. And then while that's drying, we'll go over here. So let's have that around, and then here we'll have it not right to the edge, but we're just going to have it to the edge, just to about there. So we've got a little bit of line. Let's get. And if I'm not happy with the way the highlight's gone, I can just always go back in and just go with a glaze over the top of it, just to put them all together, which I'm probably going to do. So going back in with a little bit more yellow. Actually, we're going to do a little harsh on this one. Come on, around you go. Looks so square. Cool, and then you're going to go around there. Let's get some water in. And let's get back in there. Bring that back around. Okay, we need to push that out a little bit there. Probably didn't see any of that at all, so I do apologise. Let's just get straight back in with more of that. It's probably kind of working the way I want it to. And then we're going to go cool, right. Then we're just going to go straight in with the oh no, let's not go straight too quick. Let's make sure we do that last bit there, otherwise that's going to be a fail. It's the first time I've actually tried doing a blue gem, so if this looks like I'm just winging it, it's because I am. And we're going to go actually, do you know what, that yellow's actually come out. I'm actually happy with that. That's cool. That's actually quite nice. How have I managed to get blue paint on that? This is where I should be using some form of gloves or something to protect my fingers. No dramas, not to worry, I'll fix it. Everything can be fixed. Let's just get some of that. Get some of that excess paint off. Okay, cool. Let's get back in there then. Let's just bring that. I'm going to put a little bit of a just small little daub up to the top. I think it needs to be more. Just do another one just there. And then we'll do another one. And you back around. Let's go right round to there and push that. Okay, that's where I messed up, but cool. It's Western Land, right? Let's go in now, straight and thick with the yellow. It's be interesting to see how this comes out. It's not really the way I'd go about. I wanted to give this a little whirl, see how this fares. So that into there. That to there. That to there. And then we're going to go in with a nice white. And remember where I put the whites. There you go. Let's go in with the bone. I'm just going to do a little drop down to there. Definitely need to do a bit of blending with the afterwards, just pull those in, but that's cool. The main thing is we've got what we need. That's it, like so. Cool, right. Let's put that all away. Let's get some glazes. Bit of Guillemot. Let's get that in there. Okay, a little bit of water. A little bit more. And then all we're going to do with that is pull that then. I have to do a couple of coats on that. Great entertainment, right? Hairdryer blowing down your ear. Okay, let's pour that back in there, and then let's go back over another coat. Okay, a little bit thicker on that one there and there. Okay, gonna let those dry. So if you can just see, start to come up. Don't know if I'm going to stick with that yet. I may even just change that and actually just go with like a green instead, a green gem. But again, as I said at the beginning, it was just trial and error. See how I fared that, whether that is what I want to go with. So let's just bring up the silver bits. So we're going to go straight in with some purple. Warlock bronze even. I'm not going to water that down too much because I need it to be thick consistency here. And then straight over. And we'll get that little bit there as well. Get that all the way over. Cool, that's that done. Let those bits dry. That's what I want to do tonight. Don't want to touch that bit at this point here. This is what I'd black that off, then go over the silver, or even go over the Warlock bronze, and then do that. But because we just glued that back, I want to be careful how I handle that. So what I'm going to do next is just go over a little bit of some red glaze, just to bring those colours in there. Let's get some bloodlet glaze in. Just tie those together. Again, not going to worry too much, because once I go over the varnish, the matte varnish is going to pull that off. And all it is just where you airbrush and you paint, you get two different types of textures on the actual model itself. And then the matte varnish will just pull those in together, so you're not even going to notice that being different. So no dramas, no worries. It's actually quite nice if you've got the time and patience. You can do a real nice cool effect just by building up loads of layers with the blood layer. Let's pull that over from there, back up, and that into there, that back up to there. Just let that dry. Pull this one. Should probably walk this down just a tad, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Cool, right. While those drying, and we've got the blue Guilliman glaze, we're just going to do that with a little bit of the shadowing. So I'm just going to pull that. Just going to pull that into the shadow parts. Blue makes a real good color to do shadowing effects on red. So if you're going to go into the recesses, blue glaze is a real good. It's a good one. Gives that like nice dark, like purpley. I don't know if you can see that on camera at all, but it's cool. I like that. I'm going to pull that into down there. A bit onto there. Let that dry. Pull some blue around here. Into there. Just get a little bit of damp going on. Let that dry. Get a little bit of shadowing going up in here. And we want to do a bit of shadowing down here where the sun's not on it, or the light, however you want to look upon it. Let's get a little bit around here. More importantly, we need a little bit more around those bits there. Let's pull that back. To do that there as well. Just darken that up. I may even go back over the red on that. Yeah, I'm going to do the red. I think that's probably going to be my best option. Let's do that there. And we'll go over the red. Red there for that. Cool. Cool, right, I think that's pretty much going to be me done for the night. So thank you for everyone that's joined into the chat, anyone that's joined on Facebook. Do apologise if you have joined on YouTube. I haven't been able to read your comments on that, so if anyone has joined me on that and commented, thank you very much. Do appreciate it. We'll drop. What I'll do is I'll put some dates down on the Facebook group, on the Facebook page. So if you do want to continue watching me do some live streaming on the painting, you're more than welcome to join in with the chat. That'd be really cool. Painting on your own is a bit boring, but if you've got someone else to paint with, that's awesome. We can go from there, really. But I'll put some dates down. If you want to join me, great. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to have you aboard. Join me on the chat, and hopefully I'll catch you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.